Всем привет! Сегодня будет длинненький стрим, потому что завтра выходной. Напоминаю, что genshin будет стримиться с 1 января только по выходным, либо тогда, когда выйдет крупное обновление или что-нибудь интересное. Не забываем заглядывать в Discord. Вопросики все... Новости пока не только о стримах там пока что, но со временем обновится все. Ладно, погнали. Так, тут новости всякие интересные, да? Угу. С 10 по 30, 13. Угу. Понял. Ладно. Это, конечно, все интересно. Так, сегодня еще квест надо будет пройти. Ой, возможно, даже типа в карты поиграем, которые вчера открыли. Собрал, тут вот. А тут бездна, да? Это новое событие. Ну да, скорее всего. Ладно. Сейчас смолу надо потратить. Так. Да, скорее всего, на мору. Пока что мору ляма 2 насобираем. У меня сколько, кстати? Мора 700 тысяч. Ну, еще пару заходов за эти выходные-то точно. Но собираем.
Solidify. Let me weave you a verse.
Ай.
Stabilize. Useless.
Ты...
Everybody stand back. Boring.
Так, ну замочить, а потом будет.
Gather.
Полностью там защищаться. Буду я кьюку нажимать. Открывайся, давай. Так, пустая смола. Тратим. Уже приближаюсь, да? 58-му чуть-чуть осталось. Мне кажется, 58-й ранг приключений уже будет тогда, когда уже 1 января точно наступит. Может быть, раньше. Так. Левее. Все понял. Погнали. Правильно? Еще левее. Ну, туда, что ли?
Stabilize. Evil conquering.
Потом как 2 миллиона мы собираем, Моры будет переключаться на книжки. Потому что мне дофигища книжек надо. После того, как уже всех прокачаю, там уже будет видно, куда дальше. Возможно, подземелья пойдут, но подземелья это надо на таланты сначала прокачать. Не всех, конечно, но по очереди.
Order guide you. Witness the power of good. Useless.
I can't tell. Picked the wrong test.
Так, теперь туда.
Solidify. Disappear. Worthless. Here. Worthless. Here. Worthless. Worthless. Here.
Так, густую смолу потратили. Сейчас гляну, сколько нас собирало. Мне кажется, еще мало. До 2 лямов. Сколько там? Ну да. Можно еще, конечно, сходить. Но сейчас по-любому надо скрафтить тогда. Чтобы она не копилась. Ну, вернее, начала заново копиться. Не туда побежал. Ага. Так. Или завтра потратить. Давайте, наверное, завтра потратим. Также на Мору. Battle Pass полностью, да? Ежедневки еще. Ну, погнали тогда ежедневки выполнять. Еженедельные. Так, Муру. Это мы завершим по-любому. 8 раз. Ну да, как раз получится завтра полностью. Насчет боссов я не знаю. Хотя мировые боссы-то не считаются. Так, вот это еще пару раз сыграть надо, чтобы забрать. Так, ежедневки сразу, чтобы не забыть, а то из головы сейчас вылетит. Хорошо, спасибо. Так, погнали. Найти знамение. Далеко? Недалеко и не близко. Теперь в обратную. Может, я тэпнусь? Да, лучше тэпнусь. То это бегать не нравится. Уже надоело. Лучше котики, чем сюда. За котом, который на рыбу смотрит. Прикольный. Так, ладно. Тебе все надо? Так, выполнено. О, тут прям рядышком. И все внизу, да? На противоположных сторонах. Прикольно. Ту-ту-ту-ту-ту. Здорово, парни. Я прям с неба к вам упал. Вы что тут творите?
Let me weave you a verse. Teamwork is dreamwork.
Копать в другом месте, не надо здесь копать.
Know my sword.
Иди отсюда.
The wrong test subject.
Так. Тут такой вопрос. Вам идти наверх или тэпнуться? Конечно, тэпнуться. Круто. Придумали. Хотя бы просто тропиночку сделали бы сквозь гору. Ну ладно. Лучше падать, чем залазить. Ну, я имею в виду тут, в игре. Не в жизни, конечно. Так, артерии. А, это... Понял. Защита, короче.
Solidify.
Откуда вы? Стоять.
Lament.
Так. Давай, давай.
Worthless. Here. Worthless. Worthless. Gather. I'm going in. Huh? Witness the power of Gua.
Вот что большого-то не было. Так, ладно, еще одно задание. Слаймовый стат. Кстати, этой миссии что-то мало стало слаймовый стат, или мне кажется. Просто раньше я на нее жаловался. Может, из-за этого убрали. Бывает, не успеваешь уничтожать его. Особенно, когда не прокачан.
Solidify. I will have order.
Мне туда бьешь. И вот это. Ну тут-то я справляюсь, а там вот невозможно было справляться.
Demons do not stop for the rain.
Погнали. Заберем примагемы. И начнем квест, скорее всего.
Add Astro. Thank you for
Так, все, забрали. Забираем. И все равно не хватает 2000. Ну ладно. Че тут сожалеть-то? Вот этот, да?
Deuced is just standing around. How absurd.
Вот после квеста уже пойдем карты там и так далее, если время останется. Если нет, то на завтра оставим. Хотя и завтра за Battle Pass добивать надо. Лимит 10 тысяч, как говорится.
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tatara Suna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
Yes, you came to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around that.
Okay, but...
Did one of them just mention Tatara Suna? But that's all the way in Inazuma! Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here's just going about their business. Great! Let's go find out what this Tatara Suna mystery is all about.
Типа с ними поговорить. Погнали.
All right, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper. Ugh, if only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about him, this seems like the kind of thing he'd know about.
Кто-то меня.
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma. This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kinda lacking. Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatarasuna?
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
Ah, I see. My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But who'd have thought that...
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatarasuna.
Hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive or a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade. But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Why? Well, no one knows. Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a Kabuki Mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger, someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This Kabuki Mono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kind of fishy to Paimon.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow, did I get lucky!
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the government records office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago. Even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough, it seems like he went missing too.
Wait, so there are two missing people in this story now?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so on?
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder whether it's all connected somehow.
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course, because in all my years as a writer, this is by far the most.
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabuki Mono was not a human, but a puppet.
A puppet?
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
No! Paimon just meant, how creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
Это все читать. Это, конечно, интерес. Да. Надо почитаю.
Please read my essay draft as well.
Да. Две книги. Да.
Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think
чувствую,
essays
настанет
should
тот
be
день, когда
grounded
всё
in
буду
facts.
перечитывать.
I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it.
Я, кстати, вроде все книги
How about
купил
if I plug
в
the
этой
holes
игре.
in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue? Like,
это будет
I could put
не
a
на
turf war
стриме.
between rival factions at the center of the whole
Это, как
series of
говорится, ну,
events.
для всех.
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
Akaba, look. Your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting, what hope would we ever have of finding out the truth?
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time. I need to find a new angle on this.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay!
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about all this, please do let me know. Thanks so much.
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to... Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh? After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential. If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like a volunteer. No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
Так, сейчас кое-что гляну. Так, тут все нормально. Так, все нормально. И тут все нормально. Погнали дальше. Ну, это, наверное, по-любому. О, она что, постоянно здесь находится?
Paimon, there you are. Nahida! Bad news. We just saw the balladeer strolling around in public. Did he escape or... Ah! It's him!
Sure enough, you're here.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Surasthana? Aren't you supposed to be laughed at? I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain. It was my idea to set the balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me. A deal? You sure you trust this guy?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about. But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down? But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us! As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time. The balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts him in quite a precarious position. Plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond. Wait a second. Farmer? You mean he's not a Harbinger anymore? I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser.
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui, and also between each of the Harbingers. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
Yeah, obviously! Nahida, don't listen to him! Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch. Nahida, are you serious about this? Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit. Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul. Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update on that? You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect.
The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me. So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information, and should be able—
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust him! He's treated us as enemies every time we've run into him!
I understand. But sometimes, everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart desires most of all. Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns. As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it. It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. You've more than earned it.
Paimon's still worried about this idea. Is there anything we can do to help?
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries out the task I assigned. Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside. Great, thank you. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Wow, it looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Офигеть.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized—
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru. Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through. I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much for—
Fine, let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are gonna be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and try not to fall behind.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring than us.
If there are no further objections, I suggest we get going. Or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. is the inside of Irminsul. Ooh. Paimon's never seen anything like this. And it feels like a sacred place.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so... say we did go running off in here. What would happen? What are you smirking at?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe, your best option is to stick close to me.
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
It looks the same in every direction. No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a huge tree!
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The Balladeer's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk? Yes, I've also invited Paimon to join.
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like this once in a while.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that he has yet to understand. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers. Well done. Smart and attentive as always. So, interact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is today.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry just like anyone else.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out the topic was about the Tatarasuna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes. I know about all of that.
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination. At least that's what they thought.
Oh? How interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
So the Gese got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation. Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Wait! How did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And making cordial conversation is something I can manage. Huh? Wait.
This light. It looks similar to those saplings. What could it be?
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. You have to share it with us.
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatarasuna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
Whoa!
I have been in Tatarasuna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatarasuna is a warm, welcoming place, like a giant village. People are gainfully employed, their lives have purpose. They are motivated. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatarasuna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown, all passing on their legacy. Skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. At least not on the same timescale. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible for the changes in our manufacturing and forging methods.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry of Inazuma. And it has been my great honor to befriend you all.
So you say, Escher. But is this really the truth?
My good sir, what do you mean?
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected. Because I didn't want to speculate. And I didn't want to believe that things could turn out this way. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside, but still, I suspect you understand it better than I do. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last hope. But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for quite some time.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I. He does things by the book.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor, an abundance of caution is well advised.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine. Are you sure you're not a little overqualified?
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you? What are you still doing here?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to trust me.
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatara Suna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment. A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You...
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatara Suna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that it?
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet. You're a human. You're just missing a heart.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish by all this? Why go to all this trouble?
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. This is all part of a carefully controlled experiment. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
The Fatui? Who? What do you want?
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
That's it. That's why you gave us your cursed technology? Just to let loose the evil energy from the crystal marrow?
Look how even the righteous soul is filled with venom when faced with its demise. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. However, I did not make it with you in mind. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed into an unsuspecting puppet. Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have for befriending one who is not of our kind?
If you give him my heart, tell him that both Nagamasa and I see him as one of us. He has nothing to prove to anyone. Because not everyone just wants to use other people. The only ones who think like that are people like you.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost makes me feel a little guilty. Then out of respect for you, I shall redefine myself. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope to defeat. I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, that will prove quite impossible. Mr. Niwa? Already dead. What a pity. Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. What fun it was. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
Hey, are you all right?
Dottore. Dottore!
Звук за видео
Good.
опаздывает.
Good.
Вернее, вперед.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine? But why did we see things from his perspective?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so. But it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means. Even more so than I.
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near him right now.
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why has that gotten him so worked up?
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this someday. So now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabuki Mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as a mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma that would bear fruit in the future. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, the balladeer became the main test subject. After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for." He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it has protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatarasuna without looking back.
Holy moly. So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's terrible.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Dotori, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend. It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Teyvat.
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Huh? About what?
The reason why there are records about your sister in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was her first destination when she arrived in this world. Plus, she only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens responded?
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your sister for a time. I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this. Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Yes. Astonishing news.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Huh? What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me. Give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside your head? No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past? Done.
Huh? What the? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
Nothing. I was just thanking him for helping me. So long. I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow. Oh no, he's really gone.
Oh, can you hear me?
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power.
It was the Balladier's fault. He shut you out.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or did he achieve something beyond his abilities, and it took everything he had?
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida.
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here, even though I'm not sure I can solve it. We're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible.
Чего? Так, я не понял. Трова, почему вы так делаете-то, ё-моё? И тут... у меня стрим падал, да? Так, секунду. Что происходит вообще? Кому-то скучно, что ли? Ладно, погнали дальше.
An inn or something?
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you. I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with.
An emergency? How bad is it? Nahida, will you be okay?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster. Please rest and recover your strength here until I say it's safe.
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think the Balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly grab onto you before?
Чего? Так. Сейчас, секунду. Ладно.
He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible.
Кому-то скучно просто, наверное.
Right. You can't just rewrite history. All that stuff happened already in real life. It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember drinking it. So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Paimon can't help but feel scared about what he might do. Oh, Paimon's so confused. Huh? Ah! Sorry, Paimon accidentally... It's the Balladeer's fault for causing Paimon all this mental stress. But erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Irminsul? Uh-oh. Paimon's head is overheating from trying to understand what he's up to. And it's still not working. Ugh. Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met him. There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too? There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do next? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still so worked, so how about we list all our favorite foods to take our mind off things? Heck, if that doesn't work, Paimon's probably gonna collapse of anxiety here. Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack grilled fish. Oh, and chicken mushroom skewers. Tea break pancakes. pancakes, cream stew, sauteed matsutake, and Dragon chili chicken, almond tofu, satisfying salad. Also Adeptus Temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered consomme, lotus seed and bird egg soup, and what was Paimon supposed to be doing just now? Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what she was talking about. The Balladeer? Is that a food too? Huh. Weird name, though. What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon said? So, the Balladeer. Is that someone's name? 'Cause it sounds like a nickname or something. Okay, sure. Where are we going? Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay? You're acting like this is an emergency.
Так. Одну часть выполнены. Так, сейчас перерывчик 5-10 минут, и я вернусь.
The damned will sooner die again than lay a hand on me. Those memories, so dark.
Так, я вернулся. Сейчас посмотрю, вроде все и нормально, да? Ну вот на ютубе не слетело ничего. Так, Трова и Твич, да? Слетали с места. Короче, непонятно, что творится, конечно. Так, зум.
It's been a while. Of course. Go ahead. Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. Very well. I'll tell you what I know once more. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Amenoma, Futsu, Ishin, Hyakume, and Senju. The art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Over time, the 5 branches diverged from one another as generations of bladesmiths honed and perfected their craft until they became 5 distinct traditions. Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline, and for a long time, only the Amenoma branch kept its art alive. But fortunately, Kaede Harakazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up the mantle of the Ishin art. Now, 2 clans remain of the original Gokuden 5. If my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he forged the Ishin blade.
Oh yeah, we were! Paimon remembers that now. We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then too. It seems like such a shame.
That, my friends, is a tragic tale indeed. In fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, I knew of those great clans' demise, but never the cause. Only recently, when the question was on my mind, did I ask Kaede Harakazuha about this. He told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of the Raiden Gokuden, it was right that I should know the truth. There is no harm in telling you, but I must warn you. It is a dark and sorrowful tale. The Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage by a vengeful bladesmith.
Vengeful? Why?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. One brave swordsmith heard the commotion and chose not to flee, but he rushed to the scene, hoping to prevent a disaster. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, and overseeing it was the armory officer. His surname was Niwa, though he had family ties to the Kaedehara clan. Knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, Mr. Niwa and the swordsmith leaped together into the furnace. The furnace quickly stabilized, but neither of them made it out. The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphaned son was left to fend for himself, and grew up deeply resentful at the world. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty Shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him. Powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Generation after generation bore this grudge, living in utter misery. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. He could bear their fate no longer, and yet he could do nothing to change it. Finally, he made a drastic decision to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent anger and shake the very foundations of Inazuma's forging industry. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan which he belonged to. His goal was absolute, the devastation of all of the Raiden Gokuden. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. They fought back fiercely, and they did not spare his life. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day. I suppose they were the lucky ones, under the dire circumstances.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. We spoke for a while over some tea. He seemed well. My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right? Your expression says on to the next stop. Lead the way.
Okay.
This is the Yashiro Commission's headquarters, so...
Traveler, it's been a while. If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is unfortunate.
Are they out on business?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place. If it's urgent, you're welcome to wait inside until they get back.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato...
We'll be heading in then. Thanks!
Hello, dears. Is there something you want to say? Of course, traveler. Yes, I know who you are. Miss Kamisato has told me about you. What would you like to know? Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been rather busy attending all kinds of meetings and occasionally paying visits to some local organizations on the Commissioner's behalf. As for the Commissioner himself, well, you know, busy as ever. That much hasn't changed. Although he does seem to be in a rather good mood these days.
So pretty much business as usual on the Yashiro Commission, huh?
Very much so.
Well, got any more questions?
You're very welcome. In fact, I would love nothing more than Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so, I must say, many things. I mean it. Whenever the Commissioner dines at home, Toma, the commissioner, has such a busy schedule that he doesn't always have the chance. They say it's because Toma is a much better chef than they get to talking about you sometimes too, you know. Oh, Miss Kamisato occasionally joins them as well. It's been many years now since the late... As someone who is old and gray enough to have watched, so in the future, if you ever do have the time, wonderful.
Paimon likes it here too! Also, if Paimon's itching to try it, we may just have to invite ourselves around for dinner.
Of course.
Alright, goodbye for now! We're great! Goodbye, ma'am! Don't worry, we'll see her...
All right then.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken care.
Very well. Safe travels.
Так, еще раз проверю стрим. Так, тут вроде все нормально, да?
Reduced to just standing around. How absurd.
А, YouTube еще забыл проверить. Ну, YouTube он вроде не отключается.
Worthless!
Well, here we are. But what are we looking for? Something? Or some...
Do my eyes deceive me, or is that...
Xavier? What are you doing here?
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area. There, that's me. So...
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace here in some depth. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away. Like the back of my hand. Make no mistake, I have not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tataris. Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation. Goes back around 1,000 years.
A couple? When exactly?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade.
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tataris soon?
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire for his... Sure, go ahead. A kabuki mono? No. I do know the word. Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across any... Of course! Don't mention it.
Oh, we're leaving? Okay, bye,
Oh, you're most welcome. More than happy to help. Farewell.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for. Sure, but what's up with you today? Whatever it is, it seems to keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. No matter what, come on. You gotta keep it together. What are you... All right, let's head off and...
Hey, it's them!
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once more.
We have time. What do you want to talk to us about?
It's the same topic we discussed last time.
Still looking for more info about Tatara Suna, huh? Should we join them?
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress. Huh? Oh, of course.
Да, много букв. О. Типа это все запомнить надо?
I presume you'll want to read mine as well. Here.
И у тебя тоже запомнить надо, да? Чувствую себя школьником.
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler. Remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this?
What did you find out? Something big?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some...
Wow, so many new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the Aminoma clan, you say? Ugh. So there's no ghost story here after all.
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an incredibly...
Yes, okay, point taken, you were right. But that doesn't mean I can't carry on with...
And they're back at it. These guys are really into this.
Oh, so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignore...
You're welcome. See ya.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do. Nahida, we're here!
Traveler, Paimon, how have you been?
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting and
The Balladeer? This sounds like some kind of code name. You look troubled. Is there something you need to tell me? Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
Да, зачем нажимать? Черный монитор и кнопочку нажимать надо. Шикарно. Картинки хотя бы поставим.
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could change the past.
But how was he even able to do that?
As the Traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase themselves from Irminsul...
So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because...
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But the Traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about him in Irminsul. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this Balladeer guy's motivations.
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what kind of person... Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share? It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died. Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely... He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And the story makes sense. Every part of it. The Balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the Doctor's help. He was that power then enabled him to change what was recorded.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it's still, and it just feels so hopeless. He gave
Please wait a moment. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything he has told us.
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote?
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote a fairy...
When combined with the Traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory.
Hold on. So this record survived from the...
Yes. Any information about the Balladeer or the Kabuki, changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup.
That's incredible! What a great...
And sending the Traveler into Irminsul with the Balladeer must have been a further precaution. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the truth... There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of... Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as a gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights how it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only return to darkness, then it would finally be peaceful and content. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the Balladeer story. It is his very own memories to become a god. He was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical...
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us on more than one occasion. Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished like a puff of smoke.
The balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although he was unsuccessful, before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail. That Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood...
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still, Paimon doesn't like the way it all ended that much better.
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend. So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth and then conquer the troubles they face. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, and that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahida's right. Cheer up. How about we go get something to eat?
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take him out for a walk to clear his head?
You got it. Come on, Traveler. You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar. That'll be sure to lift our spirits. It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
Так. Сейчас, секунду. Все тут нормально. Погнали. Че, тэпнуться? Ну да, отсюда.
What should we eat first? Hey, are you gonna answer or what? All right, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. What is it? Have you figured it all out? Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look, here.
Опа-на. Сказитель.
Hey! Hey, wait!
Hmm? You mean me?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed my last... Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting. It can be hard to focus.
Who's that guy? You know him or something? He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you...
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to take on an outside...
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsetias.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more. Just a
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your...
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed.
Hey, what do we do now? Okay, stay out of sight.
Yeah, this'll do.
Even though you say he's the balladeer, what are we planning on doing? Stealing his son? Oh, all right.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them. Huh? You two over there. Is there something I can help you with?
He spotted us!
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice. Have we met before? No, we haven't met. But you know me? I have no recollection.
Are you absolutely sure?
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
A puppet? What makes you think that?
Huh?
You were right! The look on his face!
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I... Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is... Okay, but please let me deliver these goods to my boss first.
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for it.
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm. And he let me take shelter in his cart. In return...
That's oddly nice.
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you, okay?
Then let's return to the city.
Так, тэпнемся. Отсюда или отсюда? Отсюда, наверное. Хотя там же на базар надо. Тогда отсюда.
Here you go, boss. I'll leave them right here.
Oh, you really went and picked some more.
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss. I'm afraid I'll be away from the stall for...
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever you want, kid. Don't waste your time here.
What?
I get it, okay?
You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be, and imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable. You know?
But I don't... No. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters.
Thank you. All right, done. Thanks.
Так. Теперь сюда от Эдмоса.
What's wrong? Huh? Are you?
Hello. I do apologize for the sudden intrusion.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything. So...
You say that you were trekking across Tevat to train yourself. Many other Inazumans who described it...
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots. But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but I don't like to rely on using terms like this often. But in...
Oh, like a past life or something?
Yes, something far more distant than the past.
Okay, I have to ask. Oh, okay. You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence in my... If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt it will be just as difficult to hear. But I'll be able to handle it. Please.
Is truth something you care a lot about?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you did many things. You nearly died because of what other people did. And many died because of you. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit.
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone, that's true.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time, a chain of cause and effect, a cycle of karma and consequence.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet, dichotomies like this are not enough to...
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but... yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
If we were enemies, why are you trying to help me find the truth?
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't...
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom, I trust that everything you told...
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the memories themselves.
Please, I want to see them for myself. I want to experience my own transgressions.
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish?
I'm just a puppet, with no heart and no name.
well.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one's kind of on us for bringing him here.
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face, it's my...
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Oh, good point. Given your, unique situation...
Understood.
Thank you. Now, prepare yourselves, everyone.
This looks like Inazuma.
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted from your memories. These memories will show you the raw truth. But be aware that enemies may react just like in the...
Sounds like an immersive experience. It's a good thing we came along.
You don't need to do this for me. I don't deserve your protection.
We never give up halfway. Well, we had to once, but that was your due.
All right.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnation, this is where the
Is that because this is kind of like his...
You could say that, in a sense.
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. The Crystal Marrow Miners? No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite construction work, and so well preserved. There's someone passed out on the ground.
Who are you?
You're awake. What happened? Not a scratch. And these fine clothes.
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichiyo's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the Balladeer,
and the rest is history.
In the original version of events, Katsuragi...
Let me get you out of here. Our people are nearby.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor, disguised as a mechanic. As the second in command at Tatarasuna, responsibility for what had happened, but Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his...
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
Так.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Исследование. Тут закрыто. Вижу. Ну, пошли. Бах.
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabuki Mono.
It's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
Aye.
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first.
Okay. I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died. And then my dad he kept coughing all the time, just like me. Then Mom started coughing.
But you can't. You promised me.
Yup. We're family now. We're gonna be...
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the Balladeer didn't know what to call him. His father died after his mother died. The child stayed in their straw hut alone. After leaving Tatarasuna, the balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name. Just
what happened to the child then?
He died from his illness while he was still very young. The balladeer came home one day and found that he had stopped breathing.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family!
You're no different from Niwa and all the others. You betrayed me too. The voices have gone. It looks like the memory ends here.
Let's keep going.
Так. Открылась. Дверь. Ай.
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon. One that could be wielded with an iron will. Or you could continue to drift aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
Long-fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
Let's light it up!
Gather! I guess this is it.
Well met.
Order guide you.
Disappear!
I can't run!
Да, не на то нажимаю. Опа.
This place is dark.
Ну тут я типа его в первый раз увидел.
This place.
Или нет?
It's the delusion factory in Inazuma.
In the original version of events, the traveler once encountered the balladeer here.
Such a creepy atmosphere. And so... Hey, look over there!
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow.
Huh. What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it. Perhaps you find fighting in the abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time?
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feelings.
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible. And don't let you...
Surely you're not worried about me.
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never failed to find ways to complicate things.
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash must make you want... Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still... Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Bye then. See you at the victory feast.
Poor little tongue? She's playing with fire, talking to me like... Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare to give them...
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come. Wanderer, are you able to continue?
Yes. Please don't worry about me.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results and your own interests. Isn't that right? Witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
I will have order.
Evil conquering! Worthless! Here! Worthless! Here! Here! Worthless!
Looks like we've arrived in Sumeru. Is that?
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment in his place.
Welcome. I look forward to a fruitful collaboration.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is...
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible.
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doc.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to guard... Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the abyss.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing...
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche.
The doctor again?
That person gives off a very sinister energy.
It's normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the bejeebers out.
Let's move on.
You're a god. Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes.
In your eyes, are there any differences between humans and pup?
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not, then what are the differences between humans and puppets? Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost...
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to reclaim the sins that are mine to bear. No matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I am due, can you return my memories to me?
Huh? But won't that mean you'll lose your current identity?
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules. With each person being a collection of... As a puppet living in a human world, my life is subject to the same rules.
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. Are you sure you want to do this?
I've lived with a void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted, but then I met you. And I finally realized that reclaiming my missing sins, I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most people. But for all, so I beg you, grant me this opportunity to gain a purpose, to change my destiny.
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return to you that which is yours.
Can I?
You have made your decision. Now, Take this.
Set him free.
A puppet? What's he doing here?
It's...
You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is... my...
Is he alright? No way!
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end.
This is trying my patience.
Have you got all your memories back now?
Have you got any more stupid questions?
Insignificant past!
How amusing. Behold! Follow me.
At my command? You shall fall.
Ай-яй-яй-яй-яй. Так, у меня хапки не хватит на тебя.
Swollen Fury. Insignificant past. You dare to gaze upon me? Behold. My endless cycle begins.
Ай-яй-яй. А у меня есть на электричество? Нету, да?
Upon the gale. Feeble human.
Ай. Еще хватит, ну? Блин, ай-яй-яй. Не хватит. Ладно.
The wind rises.
Чего, держи, держи. А.
Insignificant pest.
Есть. Зараз.
Imbecile! Get out of my sight.
It disappeared. Did we win?
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that.
There's the tone of voice again. You're definitely back to your old self. Wait, but it was you inside that thing too. What have you got to be smug about?
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am. You sound like you're concerned about me, but don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know the truth.
The memory recovery seems to have been a success. This dream has served to...
Come on. Let's continue this outside.
Так, сундука нету, да? Ладно. Пошли.
Welcome back, traveler. Paimon, Balladeer.
It feels like we just went on a really long journey.
You don't like being addressed by that name?
It's fine. But I was just thinking, I should probably change. After learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to him. I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui. And they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless.
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and understand changing the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people. What you were looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will not heed your will.
Indeed.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little in return?
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world worth regretting. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over too?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan. But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past. If all I wanted to do was use you, then I'd be no different from the doctor.
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's one of my virtues.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins is what it takes to make me useful again. Oh, right. I almost forgot. You're the good guys. Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with—
I'm glad you're able to think of it in that way. Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deeply, including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before and after that point? I will try.
Traveler. After I dove into the information torrents in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma? So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. And how? Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor. And I'll do everything I can to pay it back. Borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals. I'll balance the books one day.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. There is no such thing as balancing the books. Some things in this world can never be brought back, and they can never be changed. Everything that you feel is real and lasting. To be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not you want to be human.
But humans can't live without a heart, can they? Anyway, I gave up trying to become a human a long time ago.
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a heart. You're just bearing your feelings. The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become, until one day, it is but a tiny fraction of your life.
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but...
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to celebrate?
Ooh! Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname for you, too!
Why?
Because Paimon still doesn't like you that much.
Then I hope we don't see much of each other in the future.
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud, but I know that's what you're thinking. The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name, maybe you can ask them for ideas.
No! Paimon only does nicknames! If it's a serious name you're after, it's all...
Have you got anything?
Blah, 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 blah. Как его назвать-то? А как его зовут? Я забыл. Сейчас. Такие... Ладно. Сейчас. Нет. Так. Подождите. Вот так назову тебя.
Are you sure? All right, if you say so.
Первое, что забрало.
Now you have a name of your own.
What about a nickname? Are you done yet?
Still think...
Take your time. I don't need to see you. Everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer will have to pay the price.
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor, at least.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change.
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, even though the events have been erased from the world.
I see.
Huh? But if we do that, then...
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so did. What's that look for? Don't make that face. That day will come. All right. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone.
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant. He'll need some time to calm down.
Yeah, true. But even so, after everything that's happened, he doesn't... So we can finally go eat? Paimon is starving.
Thank you both. I hope you will find somewhere nice to go and relax.
I've got it! I can end my novel with some words from Mikoshi Nagamasa.
You mean because everyone else in the story is...
Yeah! I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at a ripe old age. The dark clouds had dissipated, but they continued. Then, one night, as an old man, he had a dream. On the night when all these expressions of joy melted down in the furnace fire. Life is a story too long to be told.
ТП.
It's about time we had a break. As soon as you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes rushing back. Wow, good. Huh? Look at the vase. Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something? But Paimon doesn't remember there being a clean...
You sound lost and confused. I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
Huh? Is there someone here talking?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. When a small animal runs into a tree trunk, though the tree may sway, it is not displaced. Like a vase that falls to the ground. Whether it is broken by a cat or by a bird.
Who are you? How do you know about...
History does not change easily, but human hearts can.
The voices disappeared. And who the heck was that? And what were they doing coming out of nowhere and saying all that scary stuff? Anyway, that face is still lying there broken up. It feels wrong just leaving it there. Just a moment, Paimon.
Наконец-то. Нифига, сколько ачивок повыполнял. Так. А это что такое? Понял. И типа его использовать надо, что ли? Ну, все. Или что-то у меня еще. Короче, ладно. Так, перерывчик 5 минут, сейчас вернусь. Вот так можно. Сейчас вернусь. Так, я вернулся. Так, достижение потом заберем. И вот это еще хотел глянуть. Это что за испытание? Давайте, у меня есть. Или надо было своих... Ну ладно, сейчас. Хочу посмотреть, что за испытание. Во время испытания то песчаное царство найдете все древние, чтобы активировать подъемники и перейти в финальное испытание. Ключевое испытание. В каждом вызове есть 3 спящие руны. Взаимодействуйте с ними, чтобы начать испытание. После завершения испытания мощь древних рун будет направлена на панель управления руин. Финальное испытание станет того, как панель управления получит всю силу испытания древних рун и активируется подъемник. Во время вызова вы можете выбирать различные испытания и косы благословения. Выполняйте испытания, чтобы воскресить всех пацанов, достанете их хп от игровых, лечить силу эффектов аномальной артерии.
There's no such thing as pure freedom in this world.
Карта.
Even the wind cannot blow on forever.
И... так. А, вон туда мне надо, все понял. Оп.
Witness the power of the wild. Here comes the catch.
Wretched vermin!
Too slow.
Have fun with this gift. Ring cutter. Game's up. Game's over.
Squall and fury.
Так.
Quit following me. Too slow.
Following orders.
A new punching.
Lucky today?
Rain outlines your fate. Let me weave you a verse. Here comes the catch.
Unsightly insects. The wind rises.
You want this one?
так понял, там еще одна. Да, та дверь открылась.
Quit following me.
Gears of the storm. Not good. No, my sword. Rain cutter. Game's up. Fun's over.
Wretched vermin. Squall fury.
Так, я откуда пришел? Оттуда, да? Сюда. Это взять.
Another the fury. Have fun with this gift. Dare to mess with me? Here comes the catch. Busted.
Unsightly insects.
The wrong test subject.
Так. Нет, туда.
Quit following me.
Правильно?
Happy to oblige. Witness the power. Rain outlines too late for regrets. Gears of the storm. Things are about to get dicey.
The wind rises. Let's get down to business. Too slow. Quit following me. Too slow.
Another test
Dare to mess with me?
Try.
Let me read you a verse. No, my sword. Here comes the catch. Truth repeats its course.
Wretched vermin. How amusing. Behold.
Happy to oblige.
Try.
Rain cutter. Rain outlines your fate. Gotcha. Game's up. Come's over.
Try.
Cry louder. The wind rises. Finally, some target practice. That's far enough. You're dead.
Gears of the storm. Let me read you a verse.
Wretched vermin. Behold.
Spread your wings and raise a storm. Where do you think you're going?
That's far.
Here comes the catch. We'll see about that. done with this gift.
Squall Fury.
Испытание пройдено, да?
Incoming. This way through the living. Nowhere to hide. Shadow Raven, let night fall.
Judgment is upon us. Repentance is due.
Эй. Да.
Make yourselves at home.
Да подожди. Да, да я нажму.
Reveal thyself.
Да,
Commit it to memory. Don't blink. Cut to the chase.
Nowhere to run. Midnight Phantasmagoria.
Grow, grow, grow.
Through me, justice is served.
Так, теперь сюда, да? Нет. В ту сторону вроде. Или я? Откуда пришел-то хоть? Ладно. Опс, не туда. Так. Нет, он не, так не покажет. Так. Да я отсюда пришел. Короче, туда пошли.
With sword comes shadow. By royal decree, this way through the living.
Surrender. Well played. No escape.
Еще что ли? Так.
Sharing my knowledge. Wheels of darkness. Come, sever night from nowhere to hide.
Judgment is upon us.
No slacking off.
You stand condemned.
Well, neither can I. This should be fun.
Minute to memory.
Don't be a killjoy. We've only just begun.
Speed of light.
This calculator's at an end.
Мне бы подхилиться, да? Да. А так можно? Нет, нет, нельзя. Неплохо. А там хилка есть? Сейчас посмотрим. Вон есть. Давай возьмем.
With sword comes shadow. Oz, reveal vice. Don't blink. Hey!
Grow.
Speed of light.
The Temple of Wisdom.
Midnight Phantasmagoria. Hey! Nowhere to hide.
Futile. Through me, justice is served. Guilty. You stand condemned. Stronger than I anticipated. Your penance is due. Guilty. You stand condemned.
Oh yeah.
Midnight Phantasmagoria.
With sword comes shadow.
Тихо, тихо.
Don't blink.
Surrender.
Хотя мне, наверное, сначала подхилиться, там же сражаться надо. Так, сейчас посмотрим, где хилки есть. Че, нету хилок, что ли? Где-то же должно быть. Так, атаку можно взять. Ну, там еще посмотрим. О, есть. Хорошо. Вот сюда еще надо.
Midnight Phantasmagoria.
Make yourselves at home.
Get to the chase.
Judgment is upon us. Your penance is due. You stand condemned.
Так, кто еще остался?
Guilty. I'll be back.
Хотя бы немного, но подхилились. Так, там еще на атаку, да? Ну, там уже я ходил. Погнали на лифт и наверх.
By royal decree, committed to memory. Nowhere to hide.
Nowhere to run. Through me, justice is served. You stand condemned. Your penance is due.
Sharing my knowledge.
Midnight phantasmagoria.
With sword comes shadow. This may hurt a little. Incoming. Cut to the chase. Don't blink. Oz, reveal thyself. Make yourselves at home.
As you wish, main Fräulein.
Committed to memory. Speed of light.
Так, ну это уже завтра с картами разберемся. Время-то еще терпимо, грубо говоря. Так, я, наверное, 20 смол потрачу. До завтра может слишком много накопиться.
Order guide you.
Rain cutter. No, my sword. Foreign. Useless. Foreign.
Куда ты бежишь? Так, нет, вот это вот. Завтра будем густую смолу тратить. Так, теперь ТП штат. Как говорится, сейчас покрутим, сохранимся, а завтра уже продолжим карты проходить и так далее. А то уже 3 часа офигеть прохожу. Так, достижения надо брать. Нифига себе. Так, 350. Мне 320 нужно. На 2 крутки. Давайте это всю меру крутим, наверное. Лучше туда тэпнемся. Типа больше шанс там и все такое. Так, я не помню. Вот здесь где-то, да? Типа авось выпадет что-нибудь интересное. Так, крутим. Устал. И еще раз крутим. Тоже пусто. Так, ну мне еще можно вот такую. 3 штуки осталось. 2 теперь. Ну ладно, крутим. Книжки у меня, наверное, накопились. Ну, пускай да. Сюда все солью. По чуть-чуть прокачается. Так, еще успеваем завтра, да? Потратить. В чайнике я вчера был. Это завтра или послезавтра будет готово. Оружие пока не получится. Хотя вот эти вот надо замочки поснимать. Хотя еще один. И копию в фавоне еще одну, да? Угу. Ну, пускай лежат. Так, артефакты не получится, скорее всего. Парочка только. Ну, все, да? Так. Ладно. Сейчас перерывчик, минут 20-30 перекусить и перекатываемся в Warframe. Там тоже дело по горлу, как говорится, качаться. Сейчас вернусь, заглядываем в Discord, задаем вопросики, не забываем. Сейчас вернусь.
Academia? What happened this time?